So I would like to welcome everybody to our 2025 Meritorious Edison Police Awards Ceremony. I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is a monumentous occasion where we celebrate our local heroes, our men and women of law enforcement that have gone above and beyond, putting their lives aside and risking their lives to save other lives and help other people. And not only that, but we have a lot of civilian recipients today too, who you're going to hear from. So before we actually get started and have Mayor Joshi come up, what I'd like to do is invite Deputy Chief Robert Dudash to come up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we also have a moment of silence for our dearly departed brothers and sisters? We just lost retired Captain Richie Clue just passed away day before yesterday. There's so many, unfortunately, so many Edison police officers retired and that were with us that we lost the past year. Thank you. I'd like to call up Amanda Musara for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'd like to welcome up Father Siriani, please. Thank you.
Good morning. We bow our head in prayer. God, our Creator, we thank you for the heroes of Edison, the men and women in blue, that, Lord, every time I see them coming, I know that we are truly safe in our township. I thank you for all those who support them, our mayor, our council, senator, our assemblymen, as well as the men and women of Edison. We thank you for those who will be receiving honors today. We are so grateful for their bravery and always going more than you could ever imagine. But it also makes us aware of the threat here in our township and throughout the world and in the United States. We pray for peace, and we pray that God will give us that grace. We ask this through our God. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Please be seated. So Edison has a rich history of following in your father's footsteps, and we have certainly a lot of our members of the force and command staff members. We have some of their dads here today. And I'd like to have all the retired members please stand up. Come on, come on. Deputy Chief Brent Pappy, Chief Ronald Gerba, my old partner Richie Westover, Louis Kirsch, Bob Leone, Scott Benedictson. Did I miss anybody? See everybody else? It's great to see all of you. Thank you for being here today. And it's always good to see my partner Richie. Richie and I rode steady in a radio car for many years, a long time ago. His son Richie's here receiving an award today, and his son Ryan is a lieutenant with Springfield Police Department, and Ryan's here today. Ryan, could you stand up, please? Yeah, Ryan. So Richie and I, we stopped at Richie's house. We're riding in the radio car, and was it Richie or was it? I think it was Richie or Ryan. I let him in the radio car, and he was talking on the radio, and then because of that, everybody heard it, and then Richie had to walk the corner for that. Got punished for it. So, I'd like to introduce my command staff. Deputy Chief Robert Dudash Jr., Captain Brian Morath, Captain Ron Gerba, Captain Brian Michkowski. I could tell some stories about Big George too, right, Chief Michkowski. Captain Teddy Hammer, Captain Michael Carter, Captain Billy Rubel. So I believe everybody knows that Bob Dudash's dad was a police officer here too. He's retired, he's doing well. And Big George was the chief here, Michkowski. We also obviously saw Chief Ron Gerba here. And then Mike Carter, Lee Carter, his dad, what a great guy. He was here. He's certainly missed by all of us. And Billy Ravel's dad was here too. And they all worked with my dad. My dad was a cop here before I was even born. My first memory of it as a child was my father in his uniform actually lifting me out of the crib. That's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah. So again, I want to thank everybody for being here. And I would like to put your hands together for Mayor Joshi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm truly humbled and honored to be here today. I'm so proud of this department and every single one of you. As I was going through this pamphlet, I can't stress enough how I've seen, as mayor and director of public safety, I get daily updates on all the incidents that happened the day prior. And in addition to that, I have the chief, who is the best damn chief ever, by the way. Give it up for him. Who will inform me of incidents as they happen in real time sometimes. And actually a lot of times. And I look at this and I can't tell you enough how proud I am of every one of you. I really mean it, because I look through these names and I actually know the incidents that happened for many of you. And I'm just very proud of this department. When I became mayor 3 years ago, I made it clear that I wanted to make sure that the Edison Police Department becomes the best, most quintessential, ideal department in the country. That's what we set out to do. And with the leadership of the command staff, as well as the chief and the leadership of the chief, that's why we're here. And quite frankly, that's because it's the vision of everyone here collectively working besides each and every one of you, as well as your families that support your police officer spouses and fathers and mothers as well. So I'm just here very humbled. I'm incredibly proud of all the work that you've done. I've always said to every police officer, just make sure in our department, make sure that you work with your conscience. As long as you work with your conscience, we're going to have your back 100%. And that's exactly what we've done. So congratulations to every single one of you. I'm going to recognize the other elected officials as well, and I'm going to call up to stage some that also wanted to speak. Beginning with Commissioner Charlie Tamaro. Senator Patrick Duignan, Assemblyman Robert Karabinchak, and our council president, Margot Harris. If the three of you can come up. Thank you, everyone. You guys can come up. Now's your turn.
The number one reason people choose to live in a town is because it's safe and welcoming. If a house goes for sale in Edison Township, I happened to be going through Stevensville Parkway the other day, and there was a for sale sign. There were cars backed up the street looking to buy that house. That is a tribute to everybody in this room. And I can't state it better than that. Thank you for keeping Edison Township safe. Thank you for welcoming people. Thank you for putting your lives on the line every day so that all of us can live in a land of the free and a home of the brave. Thank you very much.
Well, all I can say is that I'm honored to be here today with you, celebrating your awards for all of the men and women in Edison's Police Department, and especially their families too, who support you every day when you go to work. And all I can tell you is from Pat, myself, and Assemblyman Stanley, who's not here today, we have your back in Trenton. We're your voice in Trenton, and you can rely on us to always have your back. So thank you for everything you do, and God bless you. Be safe.
Good morning, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here to see all the honorees today. And thank you for all you do for Edison Township. You make us proud for what you do and how you do it. And I've always said, you know, at one time it was almost a dishonor for a police officer's son or daughter to become an Edison police officer. It should always be an honor, because what better person would you have than one of your sons or daughters that's following your footsteps to be a police officer? And thank you for all you do. And you should be very proud of your sons or daughters who are receiving awards today. Even if you're not a son and daughter, thank you for all you do. And I can't thank the Edison PBA for all they do for the Hands of Hope Food Pantry in Edison that I am part of. This year we had 50 of our children who went shopping at Target and received a $100 gift card because of the Edison PD and Sergeant Patel and his community policing. So you should have seen the smiles on those children's faces. And I think the police officers had a better time than the kids did, you know, helping these kids pick out their toys, and what a great day it was. And I look forward to doing it again next year and having more of our pantry clients' children receive toys. As a matter of fact, one parent gave me, when I called her to tell her that we're going to have their children come, cried because she said to me, she says, I didn't know what I was going to do for my children this year. So because of you and because of Target and because of the money that we raised, you made a lot of our children happy for Christmas. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here because the best part of my having served on council is my having gotten to know the Edison Police Department. This is absolutely the favorite part of my job. I have so much respect for all of you and value you more than words can even say. And so I'm grateful. You're great communicators, you're great servers and protectors, and I attend every single event that I possibly can because I value you that much. So you're always there for me. I will always be there for you. Thank you so much.
We love our elected officials. Some of us, we go back 3 decades or more. Charlie, right? Rob, Pat, I mean, it's just incredible. So we appreciate you very, very much for your support and your leadership and your friendship. Thank you very much. I'd like to have our PBA president, Mike Piparato, stand up, and also our SOA president, Dan Boslett, stand up. Thank you, gentlemen, for the great job that you do. Thank you very, very much. So actually, I'd like to call up Mayor Joshi. Let's have a hand for our mayor again. He does such a great job. He has done so much for not only our police department, fire department, public safety, but all the residents in Edison. I mean, Edison has had so much, there was so much accomplishment just in the 3 years that the mayor's here. Mayor, could you come up, please? And there's something else that's very, very important to all law enforcement, not just our department. And this is an award that I would like to present to Mayor Joshi. And it says, Edison Mayor Sam Joshi has emerged as the champion of public safety by sponsoring New Jersey's groundbreaking crime bill, aimed at enhancing the safety and security of residents. This legislation introduces stronger measures to combat crime while providing critical resources for law enforcement agencies. Mayor Joshi's leadership underscores his commitment to fostering safer communities, empowering police departments, and ensuring justice for all. His advocacy reflects a forward-thinking approach to tackling crime, addressing public concerns, and reinforcing trust between residents and law enforcement. Thank you very much, Mayor. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you. This was very unexpected, but I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know that this is, when I speak to many of you, I get to learn about what problems you're faced with. And that's really how we work together on this. To all the command staff, as well as our state senator and our assemblyman, Robert Karabenchik was actually the sponsor of this bill. And we worked together. It was really a community. Quite frankly, it was Edison uniting on this issue, and we moved the needle to the point where the entire state. We're not in town hall, so I don't mind saying it. It was quite frankly all the Democrats that were very hesitant, and we moved the entire state to come and join this issue because we were right. And I'm glad that it got done, and I'm glad that Robert Karabenchik, our assemblyman, sponsored it, and Pat Dagden, and quite frankly, the entire state legislature moved afterwards, followed our lead. So thank you, everyone that made this crime bill happen. Thank you again.
So the first set of awards are going to go to civilians within Edison Township and some out of Edison Township. But the first person I'd like to call up is Harold Jaffe. Chief Ron Gerbis coming up with Harold. Everyone knows Harold. We're going to go jogging later together. So, Harold, this is from the Edison Police Department. This official citation is to commend you on your actions which you have displayed towards the Edison Police Department for over 25 years. The Edison Police Department would like to acknowledge yourself, Mr. Jaffe, who has proudly served countless patrons and done so in a high-quality manner. Harold's New York Deli is famous for having the world's best corned beef, pastrami, cheesecake, and pickle bar. No customer has ever left Harold's New York Deli hungry, as he serves his customers with portions that could feed entire cities. Harold has been a pillar of the community, where the Edison Police Department is especially gracious to Harold for the red carpet treatment that he gives to all officers who enter his establishment. Harold always ensures that he provides the fastest service and the absolute best food. We at the Edison Police Department are fortunate and proud to call you our great friend. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed, as we are proud to present you with this token of our appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is the 40th town that I've had a restaurant, and this is the best town that I ever had. Aressa, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Our next civilian recipient, and let me just read you real quick, as far as the awards committee goes, what the civilian award it is and may be awarded for personal assistance by a civilian in apprehending a criminal or in extending oneself beyond one's own safety to provide prompt action to aid people who are in danger. Citizens that aid in an emergency or come to the direct assistance of an officer in need are also eligible for this award. Manuel Jimenez. Excellent. And Anna Gomez. Manny. Anna's not here today, so you'll receive her award. Thank you, sir. This official citation is to commend you on your actions which you displayed on January 24th, 2022. On this date, you were in the parking lot of AutoZone in Wick Plaza, at which point you began making observations. At this time, you witnessed an individual grab a small yellow object, smash the rear driver's side window of a vehicle, and remove a purse. The individual then got into a vehicle along with another conspirator and fled the area. You then diligently followed the vehicle as it exited the parking lot and continued down Route 1 heading northbound. Once the suspect vehicle reached Kimball Street, the suspect confronted you and realized that you had been following them. Despite the confrontation, you continued to relay pertinent information back to responding officers, which led to our detectives making a quick apprehension. Your actions on this date were instrumental in serving your own community. You assisted police with bringing justice to malicious actors and with returning property to an unsuspecting victim. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
You're going to take a picture. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Harjo Hot, or Hadro Hot. Very good. Thank you very much. This official citation is to commend you on your actions which you displayed on October 3rd, 2022. An individual was in the area of the Lincoln Elementary School brandishing a weapon. The individual refused to comply with commands from Edison Police to stop and disarm himself. Without regard for your own safety and without hesitation, you assisted officers in disarming the individual and taking him into custody. As a result of your brave actions, threat to the public was negated without injury or loss of life. Thank you for your heroism in aiding officers to disarm and subdue a threat to the public. You are deserving of recognition by not only the Edison Police Department, but the community in which you reside. Again, thank you for your actions on October 3rd, 2022. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Thank you very much. Shilpa Malik. Also known as Shelley. On July 22nd, 2022, Shilpa Shelly Malik responded to Edison PD headquarters and attempted to report a 5-year-old juvenile identified as Sydney Durham as missing and endangered. Sydney was not seen by anyone since 2019. And when she became aware of this, Shilpa relentlessly contacted various authorities until being put in touch with Detective Mankad as she suspected that Sydney was killed. Upon getting in touch with Detective Mankad, Shilpa provided crucial background information to help Detective Mankad expedite the investigation, confirming Shilpa's initial suspicions of Sydney having been a victim of a homicide approximately 3 years earlier. The information Shilpa provided helped subsequently result in the swift arrest of defendants Matthew Childs and Monique Durham, resulting in numerous criminal charges and convictions for both defendants, along with safely relocating Sydney's twin sister, Simone, and setting Simone up with a new foster family who she is now thriving with. Your strong conviction and perseverance resulted in the apprehension of 2 suspects. Thank you for your dedication, which does not go unnoticed by the Edison Police Department and the residents of Edison Township. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was very courageous. Ralph Aiello. Ralph, thank you very, very much. Thank you. This was particularly, it really hit home for all of us, and I'll get to that in a second. But this official citation is to commend you on your actions, which you displayed on October 5th, 2022. While working as a security guard at Topgolf, you observed a serious motor vehicle crash on U.S. Highway 1. Without delay, you responded to the scene to render aid. Upon arrival, you observed a marked Edison police vehicle split into multiple pieces with an active fire. Upon further observation, you noticed an Edison police officer among the wreckage. You and other bystanders quickly acted to remove the officer from the wreckage and prevent serious injury and loss of life. Thank you for your heroism in rescuing an Edison police officer who was in dire need of aid without regard for your own safety. You are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but by the community in which you reside. Thank you again for your heroic actions on October 5th, 2022. So if this gentleman had not acted selflessly, then our great, brave officer, Officer El Cuomos, might not even be here today. So we thank you for your heroism and your dedication. And I will tell you this, the very next day, that radio car in which Joe was in 3 separate pieces. And I had Tony Caputo, at the time was the director of New Brunswick, call me and say to me, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry about your officer." I go, "What do you mean?" He says, "You lost an officer." I said, "No, we didn't." I said, he goes, "Because I have never seen a wreck like that in my entire 40-year career here. I don't think anyone else has, and certainly God was with him that day and brought you there to save him." So again, we thank you very, very much. That was absolutely incredible. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bienvenida, Almonte. Thank you. So you all probably saw the footage that was all over the news. So it was incredible. This official citation is incredible, right? It's crazy. Your actions were just so heroic when you saved the children in that bus, which you displayed on October 18th, 2023. While conducting your normal duties as a Board of Education bus driver, you experienced a mechanical failure of the brake system of your assigned school bus. At the time, 26 children were aboard the school bus. In order to bring the bus to a stop, you maneuvered the vehicle off the roadway and tactfully used the terrain to bring the vehicle safely to rest. Thanks to your quick thinking and brave actions, the school bus was brought to a stop without serious injury or loss of life. You are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but by the community in which you reside. Thank you again for your heroic actions on October 18th, 2023. So, I'm sure everybody saw the newsreel, right? So now we have a new nickname for you. We call you Danica Patrick now, like a race car driver, because it was incredible, the bus. Instead of going through the house, just clipped part of the house, but had to go through the terrain there. It was absolutely incredible. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
PST, Rachel Goldfarb. This official citation to commend you on your actions, which you displayed on June 5th, 2024. While working in the Edison Police Department's Communications Center, you assisted primary call taker PST Yolanda Troche, who was fielding a call reporting an active kidnapping. You recognized the difficulties that PST Troche faced and immediately jumped into action to aid her for over 2 hours. Thanks to your efforts, as well as those of PST Troche, the Port Authority police were able to apprehend the suspect and rescue the victims without injury or loss of life. You are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but of course the community in which you serve. Thank you again for your actions on June 5th, 2024. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks so much, Rachel. I would like to call up Beth Rodriguez and Melissa Vicari. I would also like to call up Sergeant Matt Michikowski. Sergeant Michikowski heads up our Arrive Together team. This is an effort that we were one of the first departments in Middlesex County to undertake this, where we went out and were able to assist people in need, EDPs, and get them the help that they need. And it's kind of like the first time that a police officer would be paired up with a counselor. And these two young ladies assisted us, and they continue to assist us in doing what we need to do. I'm going to let Matt talk a little bit about that and also read the citation for both Beth and Melissa. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you again, Chief. First and foremost, the Arrive team doesn't happen without these two. So, round of applause, please, because this is the real brains behind the operation. And with that said, I'll read your citation. This official citation is to commend you for your quick thinking, calm demeanor, and selfless dedication to others. Your work in the Arrive unit is the model for both policing and mental health communities. Due to the staggering number of mental health-related service calls across New Jersey, the alternative response to reduced instances of violence and escalation, better known as the Arrive team, was formed. Recognizing that the status quo was no longer effective, Chief Bryan proactively became one of the first chiefs in the state to sign on to the program. In May of 2023, the Edison Police Department officially adopted the Arrive model to better serve the community. The pilot program was designated to team up with CIT-certified police officers alongside Rutgers Acute Psychiatric Services professionals to respond to the most challenging mental health-related calls. The goals of this program was clear: reduce the use of force and escalation while ensuring individuals in crisis receive the appropriate care and the support they need. The Arrive team has proven to be an overwhelming success, both throughout the state and particularly in Edison. With the volume of calls the team has handled, the Arrive screeners have been instrumental in helping countless individuals struggling with mental health issues and their families access the proper resources they need. Their ability to de-escalate sensitive situations has drastically reduced incidents that might have otherwise led to force or violence. The success of the Edison Arrive model demonstrates how effective partnership between law enforcement and mental health professionals can create a safer and more compassionate response to mental health crises. Your efforts have been crucial in building public trust and ensuring that individuals in mental health crisis receive the care they need to begin the healing process. Your work highlights the effectiveness of collaboration between law enforcement and mental health professionals. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed, and thank you for your actions and continuing the efforts. Before I give them this award, I'd also like to say is, without them, this unit doesn't work. With what Melissa and Beth have been able to do throughout the state, there's a reason the Attorney General's office comes and asks them how we do the model and how we continue to progress that. So I'm not only very proud of that, with the Chief allowing me to do so, but once again, round of applause to these two, because this doesn't happen without that. Thank you.
I talked a little bit about the rich history of Edison Township and how we're all interwoven together. And I worked in Vice, and I worked for a long time with Matt's dad, Ron Michkowski, who was deputy chief here, retired. And certainly, you know, Matt does a fantastic job with the Arrive team, with the girls, and he certainly is a rising star in the police department. So we appreciate Matt for everything that he does. Thank you, Matt. So, again, we talk about the rich history in the police department. So, when I started the police academy, I had a very good friend of mine, George Spearnock. We started the academy together. We went through the academy. And I met Gloria when she was 14 years old. She had just lost her mother from cancer, and George was raising both Gloria and her brother, Sean, at the time, was only 8. So years had gone by, and one thing led to another, and then Gloria came to work for us and ended up becoming my assistant. So I would like to present Gloria with this award, which says, Gloria Scalero serves as a dedicated assistant to the Chief of Police of Edison Township, embodying professionalism and steadfast support. With exceptional organizational skills and a deep commitment to public service, she ensures seamless communication and operational efficiency within the department. Gloria's unwavering dedication, attention to detail, and compassionate demeanor have made her an indispensable asset to the team, fostering trust and respect among colleagues and the community alike. Her work exemplifies the vital role of administrative excellence in supporting public safety and leadership. Gloria, thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to get into our Officers Awards, and I would like to take this opportunity to read. This is from the FBI Newark Field Office. It's addressed to me, December 12, 2024, and it says, Dear Chief Bryan, I take this opportunity to thank the members of your department for the tremendous assistance they have provided to the Federal Bureau of Investigation in support of an enforcement action involving the search of several locations in Edison Township. The matter related to a national security investigation involving multiple victim companies. I specifically would like to thank Captain Ted Hammer and his team for working side by side with special agents from the FBI to plan and execute this search. They work long hours, providing invaluable assistance in the way of pre-operational planning, valuable intelligence, organizing a team to secure the target location, and supporting FBI agents during the enforcement action. The cooperation and professionalism are greatly appreciated and reflect highly on them as individuals and the Edison Police Department as a whole. Please convey my genuine thanks and gratitude to your officers for an above and beyond effort. The success of the FBI's mission to protect the American people is made possible by interagency cooperation, and we are lucky to maintain such a good relationship with the Edison Police Department. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to our continued collaboration. I'd like to call up Ted Hammer, please. And because this has something to do with national security, I'm not at liberty to speak in the details about it, but this was actually huge. It impacted our entire country and the public safety of the residents of the country. So it was an outstanding job by everybody. And I also would be remiss if I didn't mention our SWAT team, our Special Weapons and Tactics Unit also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're going to do this
No,
stuff
no,
next.
no.
Let's do a picture. I can do whatever I want.
Thank you, sir.
Captain, his nickname is Teddy Bear. All right, so you have to stay up. All right, we're getting into the Drug Buster Award, awarded for the successful result of an undercover detective investigation that resulted in the arrest of a narcotic criminal. May also be awarded to an officer that, through the course of his/her duties, apprehended an individual that had in their possession a significant amount of narcotics. So I would like to call up, once again, Captain Theodore Hammer.
Before I start, I just want to thank Captain Gerber and the entire awards committee for putting this together. Definitely didn't know it was going to be this big. Maybe we would have put a little speech together for everyone. The first award is going to go out to a detective whose father I used to drive in a patrol car with years ago. So it's pretty remarkable to be able to stand up here and read this today. Detective Kevin Kirsch, during the months of February and March, do you want to come up here? During the months of February and March 2024, you were the lead agent in a confidential narcotics investigation while assisting the Middlesex County Narcotics Task Force. The investigation culminated on April 2nd with an operation in New Brunswick where multiple search warrants and arrest warrants were to be executed. Sergeant Palco and Hansen, along with Lieutenant Carullo and detectives from the MCPO Task Force, and you, along with Detective Itel and Lorfing, were waiting for the main target and his girlfriend to exit their apartment and enter the suspect's black Tesla SUV, which was located at a parking deck in New Brunswick. At approximately 15:08 hours, the target exited the elevator and entered his vehicle. Sergeants Hansen and Palco, Lieutenant Carullo, and others involved converged on the vehicle, and simultaneously the suspect attempted to flee, reversing his vehicle over a parked curb and then trying to drive forward towards the detectives. The suspect ignored verbal commands and nearly struck multiple officers and detectives, had to smash his driver's side window and pull him out of the vehicle, and place him under arrest without any injuries to any of the detectives involved. The subsequent search of the arrestee's person provided over 850 grams of crack cocaine, a large amount of CDS paraphernalia, a bulletproof vest, over $20,000 in cash, and several prescription legends and the drug testosterone. Accordingly, both individuals were charged with various first-degree crimes. The lengthy and detailed investigation by Detective Kirsch got a large amount of dangerous narcotics off the street, and if it wasn't for your actions, these dangerous people would still be out there. I'd like to commend you for that award. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Officer Michael Puchez, please step up.
Sure. You know, again, Edison has rich history with fathers, sons, daughters. I mean, it's just incredible. It's the whole lineage is crazy. But throughout the Middlesex County Chiefs Association, they refer to me as the chief thief, because my comrades say that, you know, how many you're going to hire now? How many are you going to take from another department? So we have Officer Puchez came from Highland Park here, so we're proud to have him here.
Officer Puchez, this official citation is to commend you on your actions, which you displayed on May 22nd, 2023. On the above listed date, you were proactively patrolling the parking lot of 860 New Durham Road, the Red Roof Inn. The establishment is known to be a high-crime area, specifically for CDS distribution use. While patrolling, you made contact with the occupants of a silver Cadillac, which was parked in the middle of the parking lot. Through your investigation, you made 2 arrests and recovered a large quantity of CDS and paraphernalia. The arrestees were subsequently charged with several counts of CDS distribution, possession, and possession of paraphernalia. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but by the community that you serve. Your commitment and resolve do not go unnoticed. Again, thank you for your actions on May 22nd, 2023. Officer Matthew Talavera. Officer Talavera, this official citation is to commend you on your actions, which you displayed on September 30th, 2023. On the above listed date, you were proactively patrolling the area of Route 1 South near Plainfield Avenue, and while patrolling, you observed a silver Toyota Camry make several Title 39 violations. Due to the said violations, you conducted a motor vehicle stop of the vehicle in the parking lot of the AMC Theater. Through investigation, a narcotics canine was contacted and responded to the scene, conducting an exterior sniff of the vehicle for the odor of CDS. Ultimately, the narcotics canine gave a positive indication for the odor of CDS, and probable cause search of the vehicle was conducted, which resulted in locating CDS cocaine, paraphernalia, and U.S. currency. 2 individuals in the vehicle were arrested and subsequently charged with various CDS-related offenses. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition, not only by the Edison Police Department, but the community that you serve. Thank you for your actions. Officer Christian Shinecki. On behalf of myself and the entire command staff, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize your actions on October 28, 2023. You stepped out with a suspicious motor vehicle with 2 occupants in the area of Gold Street and Amboy Avenue. While speaking with the passenger, you observed chore boy inside a pocketbook next to the passenger's legs. You also recognized the passenger from a previous interaction as a narcotics user in the recent past. After the occupants exited the vehicle, you observed a small baggie with narcotic residue alongside the chore boy. You subsequently conducted a probable cause search of the vehicle. Upon opening the pocketbook, you located a Ziploc bag that contained a small amount of white powdery substance believed to be cocaine in a small glass jar. On the dashboard was a book that had a white powdery substance believed to be cocaine. Additionally, a black-colored bag was located inside the vehicle that contained drug paraphernalia and 2 sandwich bags containing approximately 57 grams of crystal meth. Both occupants were then placed under arrest, and since neither occupant took ownership of the narcotics, search incident to arrest led to the discovery of a clear plastic bag containing approximately 6 grams of cocaine on one of the occupants. Both of individuals were charged with numerous offenses, including distribution and possession of a controlled dangerous substance. Your display of professionalism and dedication to the duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but the community that you serve. Thank you very much for your actions. Good to go. Let's hear it for Chief Bryan.
Our next set of awards will be for exceptional merit. This award may be presented to any member of the department who engages in an act of bravery intelligently performed involving risk of life. I'd like to call up Captain Gerba.
I think it might be. Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everybody. I had the honor of serving on the awards committee. I served as a chairman. I've been at the awards thing for over a decade now. I almost wish I could turn back the clock and start over and get 10 years of my life back, but here I am today. I want to give a few quick shout outs as being the chair to the chief, of course, for running this whole thing, and Gloria. The awards committee, of course. My awards committee to my left, or I'm sorry, front row, and some of the awards committee was on the command staff as well. The deputy chief and the other civilian personnel who works behind the scenes to make all this possible. We had an incredible national anthem today, and we had our civilian assistants are all over the place. The mayor and our elected officials who are here, our PBA who paid for this and gave us a great breakfast today and really paid for this entire thing to have all the families here. The Pines Manor, who does an incredible job. What an ice sculptor in the back. That is such a cool thing to take a picture with. And of course, the families and friends who came here today to support us. Even my father is here today supporting it. And I'm hoping to get a lunch off of him after this is all over today. So just to let you guys know, the big game changer for police work in the last decade has been body-worn cameras. When I started on the committee, we were doing awards through written word and reports. And now on a body-worn camera, you feel like you were at the incident. I mean, short of an award where we actually went into the Raritan River and rescued people, I don't think the body cams are waterproof and we had to remove them. You actually feel like you're at the scene and you see front and center the dangers of police work and the dangers that officers go through every day. In this category of exceptional merit, our officers are facing a great danger because it means that there was an armed suspect involved. So the first award that was listed was supposed to be Robert Duffy. He could not be here today. He has a lot of children. He probably got sick from one of them today. But Robert did a tremendous job on Saffron Avenue. I'll just summarize it quickly. There was a call of shots fired, 3 to 4 shots fired. So as a police officer, when you respond to a scene like that, I've had a handful of these in my career. You are on the highest of high alert when there's shots fired because you know it's an armed suspect. And Robert is one of the guys you want going to a scene like this. And the reason why he's so good at what he does, he's 2 steps ahead of everybody else when he goes to a scene. So he was able to make the car stop, go to the exact right location. He made the stop, made the arrest, and recovered a .380 caliber handgun at the scene. So a hand for Robert Duffy. The next one is Sergeant Robert Leone. I love these photos that pop up with everybody. Congratulations. Robert is a legacy. I worked with his father. His father was a little loud in the morning. At 6 o'clock in the morning, he had an energy level up here. I'm coming off of midnights. I liked quiet at that time, but I never got it. Robert, very similarly to what I mentioned about Robert Duffy, was always proactive as a patrolman. He made sergeant. He's steps ahead of everybody else. I just happened to be listening to the radio yesterday, and we're looking for a suspect. And he's telling everyone, all right, one way in and one way out. He's always refereeing things and officiating and giving his guys good direction. So that's why he's another great guy to have on a scene like this. So this took place on March 5th, 2022. He conducted a car stop at Route 1 and Wooding Avenue after observing numerous violations. He first saw a suspicious pill bottle and immediately began questioning the driver on it. Did not get a very good explanation. And through investigation and through speaking to him, he eventually was able to locate a Smith & Wesson .357 caliber revolver loaded with 5 rounds of live ammunition. So great job by Robert. I feel like the size of a child compared to him when he comes up. We have 2 Exceptional Merit Awards for Sergeant Joseph DePasquale. While he's coming up, I'd like to mention he was probably our most proactive officer over the last decade, one of them at least. He made sergeant. I was a patrol captain, and he just said, Cap, just keep me on midnights. I just want to do my thing out there. And it's great because we need great men like him on the overnight working and keeping our streets safe. And his guys and girls love working for him. They say they're bidding midnights, these crazy hours, just to work with him. So that's pretty amazing. Give him a hand. His first of 2 Exceptional Merit Awards, June 24th, 2022. This took place at 15 Beaver Street on call of a robbery. He received suspect information and immediately saw the vehicle fleeing. Due to his rapid response, and that's what's key, that's what gets you up on stage with these awards, Joey D is always where he needs to be when crimes are happening. So he immediately made the stop of the driver, and this wasn't a simple investigation. He had to go to 2 different locations, gather information, but the subsequent search of the vehicle led to the discovery of a 9mm handgun with a laser sight and 31-round magazine. So great job there. And the second job took place on November 21st. After observing a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed and changing lanes without signaling, you observed a container of wine. You observed a bunch of things, numerous small black rubber bands, several sandwich bags of suspected marijuana. You then ordered the driver to exit the vehicle, conducted a pat down when you located a handgun tucked in the driver's waistband and a ski mask. And in doing so, a crime was imminent if the individual had a ski mask and he had a gun on them. So just a great job of Joey D being at the right place at the right time.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief.
All right, I will be back, but
Great job. Thank you. Great job. So before we continue, I would just like to mention some of our other officers. So again, Captain Jason Gerb is the Awards Committee Chairman. We also have Captain Brian Michkowski, Lieutenant Ray Powers, Lieutenant Chris Sauber, Lieutenant Joe Kenny, long line of police officers there also, Lieutenant Dominic DiCarlo, Sergeant Michael Mikowski, and our PBA President, Officer Mike Piprod. Let's have a hand for them because they did all the work on this. As we continue with exceptional merit, I'd like to call up Captain Michkowski, please.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. The first award for exceptional merit that I'm going to be presenting is going to be to Lieutenant Joseph Kenny, Sergeant Dave Goldman, Detective Alexis Bonilla, and Officer Michael Goldfarb. You guys can come up. On Wednesday, November 9th, 2022, at approximately 13:19 hours, these officers were detailed to a serious motor vehicle accident with injuries. Upon officers' arrival, they observed a serious motor vehicle accident, Route 514 eastbound, where the driver, later identified as Justin Flax, was trapped in the driver's seat of his vehicle and was in obvious pain sustained from the motor vehicle accident. Upon approaching the vehicle to assess Mr. Flax's injuries, officers on scene observed smoke coming from the front passenger side of the vehicle. As officers were assessing the driver's injuries, the smoke condition began to worsen, and officers immediately decided to remove Mr. Flax from the vehicle in case the fire spread. As officers were attempting to remove Mr. Flax from his vehicle, they realized he was trapped and could not get out of the vehicle. As officers worked relentlessly to remove Mr. Flax from his vehicle, flames began to pour out from under the vehicle in which he was trapped. Remaining calm and professional at all times, officers began to expedite the removal of Mr. Flax from the now burning vehicle. Through communication, bravery, and dedication to duty, officers were able to successfully remove Mr. Flax from the vehicle and extinguish the flames that were pouring out from underneath the car. Mr. Flax was subsequently transported to Robert Wood Johnson Hospital for his injuries, where he made a full recovery. Your display of professionalism, bravery, and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but by the community that you serve. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed. Thank you for your actions on November 9th, 2022, and your continued effort in the future. Congratulations. The next citation for exceptional merit will be presented to Officer Michael Montenegro. Come on up, Mike.
This official citation is to commend you on your actions which you displayed on October 19th, 2023. While on duty, you were responding to the crash of Officer Newton's patrol vehicle. He was in pursuit of a stolen vehicle on Woodbridge Avenue. You were traveling eastbound on Woodbridge Avenue, approaching Meadow Road with emergency lights and sirens activated. While attempting to safely cross the intersection, you were struck head-on by the suspect's vehicle. After coming to rest, you observed 3 male suspects exit the stolen vehicle and flee down Old Post Road. You realized you were entrapped and injured in the vehicle, but were determined to assist Officer Goldfarb, who was engaged in a foot pursuit with the suspects. After multiple attempts, with great strength and persistence, you were able to force open the door and exit the vehicle to assist Officer Goldfarb. Your actions were integral in the arrest of 3 males who were charged with eluding, receiving stolen property, and assault on a police officer. Your actions exemplified bravery, intelligently performed involving personal risk to life. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but by the community that you serve. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed. Again, thank you for your actions on October 19th, 2023, and your continued effort in the future. Congratulations. The next award for exceptional merit will be presented to Officer Phil Smith. The next one. Yes, next one. Phil, get comfortable. On behalf of myself and the entire command staff, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize your actions on December 6, 2022. At approximately 19:17 hours, you responded to 146 College Drive on a report of a burglary in progress involving a gun. It was later learned that the suspect knocked on the victim's door and said he was making an Amazon delivery. Once the victim opened the door, the suspect reportedly pointed the gun at the victim and forced the victim into the bedroom. According to the victim, the suspect ransacked the bedroom and demanded the victim give him money. The suspect was described as wearing an Amazon jacket/vest and mask brought zip ties with him. While approaching the area, you observed a gray-colored Audi with no headlights exiting College Drive. As this vehicle passed, you were unable to see the occupants due to the tinted windows. You subsequently attempted to conduct a motor vehicle stop, at which time the driver refused to pull over and a pursuit was initiated. It was then learned that the plate on the vehicle came back as stolen. The pursuit lasted for approximately 36 minutes and ultimately ended on a dead-end street in Piscataway Township. The driver was immediately taken into custody, but the front seat passenger fled on foot. The driver was charged with eluding and conspiracy to commit both burglary and robbery. While searching for the passenger, a large capacity magazine and black ski mask were located in close proximity to where the pursuit ended. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but by the community that you serve. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed. Thank you for your actions and your continued effort in the future. Congratulations, Phil. Well, for those of you that know Phil, he's been involved in a few of these. This one is for Officer Phil Smith and Officer Nicholas Librato. Is Nick here? Not here. He's not here? Nick is home recovering from shoulder surgery, so he was unable to make it this morning. The official citation is to commend you on your actions which you displayed December 3rd, 2023. While on patrol, dispatch advised that a stolen car out of Maryland was pinging to 2825 Woodbridge Avenue. The vehicle was described as a white Subaru Outback with Maryland registration. You positioned your vehicle on the ramp of Raritan Center Parkway, where you observed the vehicle pass at a high rate of speed. You then accelerated and caught up to the stolen vehicle. You were given authorization to pursue. Dispatch then advised that the driver of the vehicle was a suspect in an attempted murder in Maryland. The vehicle continued on Woodbridge Avenue, traveling through Woodbridge and Perth Amboy until it entered onto 287 northbound. You pursued all the way to mile marker 64.9, where the vehicle came to a stop in the middle of the highway. The driver, later identified as Reese Wetzel, refused to follow commands to exit the vehicle. With the assistance of the New Jersey State Police and Officer Librato, pulled Wetzel through the passenger side window. He was taken to the ground and placed under arrest. Your actions exemplified bravery intelligently performed involving personal risk to life. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but by the community that you serve. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed. Thank you for your actions on December 3rd, 2023, and your continued effort in the future. Congratulations. The final award that I'll be presenting for exceptional merit will be for Sergeant Freddie Brown and Officer Michael Tagliabashi. This official citation is to commend you on your actions which you displayed on February 1st, 2024. While on patrol, you were dispatched to 860 New Durham Road, the Red Roof Inn, on a report of an individual carrying a knife. The suspect was described as a white female, approximately 50 years of age, possibly under the influence of narcotics. As you approached the motel, you were notified that the suspect had moved to the vending machine room. You and Officer Tagliabachi made contact with the suspect, who had a knife in her left hand and pressing the open blade knife up against her right pointer finger. You attempted to communicate with the suspect as Patrolman Simaluka held the glass door ajar for you. After several minutes of attempting to communicate and de-escalate the incident, the suspect garnering no response, several loud verbal warnings were provided that you were prepared to deploy the taser on her if she did not comply. The armed suspect remained motionless and unresponsive. You gave the command to use the taser. It was discharged by Officer Tagliabachi and prong struck the suspect. Assisting officers immediately made entry into the room, disarming the suspect and secured the suspect into handcuffs and requested an ambulance to treat the suspect. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but by the community that you serve. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed, and thank you for your actions on February 1st, 2024, and your continued effort in the future. Congratulations.
As we continue with the Exceptional Merit Award, I'd like to call up Deputy Chief Bob Dudash.
Before I continue with the Exceptional Merit Awards, first of all, I'd just like to congratulate all the award recipients today and all the officers and citizens alike. A job well done. Congratulations to all of you. The first recipient that I'll be awarding today, Officer Matthew Talavera. On September 28th, 2023, in the area of 737 Route 1, on a report of a two-car motor vehicle crash, one of the passengers fled the scene on foot. You began a canvass of the area where a short time later, you located an individual fitting the description from the fleeing from the scene. Once observing the individual, you observed the bottom of a black pistol grip protruding from his pants. After recovering a handgun, a Glock 42 from his pants, you then located an additional handgun, a Taurus 380 from the individual's right pocket. Congratulations on a job well done. I wanted to add that the Glock 42 was reported stolen from a house in Franklin prior to the incident. Okay, the next Exceptional Merit Award, actually, it's a series of officers. Officer Asmar Kemp, Officer Zach Delabic, Officer Stephen Susala. Additional officers, Officer Connor Colligan, Officer Avsar Patel, Officer Martina Stewart, Officer Brian Tallarico, and Officer Matthew Bates. If you could please come forward. All right. On February 17th, 2024, you, along with other officers, and this is all of you, responded to the area of Menlo Park Mall on a report of a male being chased by a group of individuals. Upon your collective arrival, you began to canvass the area looking for suspects. You received information that there were 6 or 7 individuals that confronted the victim in an attempted robbery, and a handgun was brandished. Shortly thereafter, you located that group that fit the description of the actors involved. Officers Kemp, Delabic, and Susala, you first encountered this group. Once you established a perimeter with them, you located a handgun during a pat-down search of one of the individuals. This individual attempted to flee on foot, however, you quickly took the individual into custody. Again, a loaded handgun was found on his person. The additional suspects, however, fled and scattered in the area, where additional officers, Officer Colligan, Patel, Stewart, Tallarico, and Bates, located the second group of individuals after they fled. During a pat-down of one of those individuals, a second handgun was located on one of the suspects. Job well done by all of you.
Let's go down, guys and girls. Can you get us all cash? Sir. Awesome, great job.
Okay, my last Exceptional Merit Award will be given to Sergeant Matthew Michikowski. All right, on August 26, 2022, you were working an extra duty assignment for security at St. Thomas Aquinas football game. During the game, a vice principal from the school informed you that there was a suspicious male in the parking lot peering into vehicles' windows. You then attempted to call into headquarters, however, there were radio difficulties at the time. Not sure at that point what communication got through or not, you began to look for the suspect. You then confronted the suspect a short time later in the parking lot, at which time he became hostile and combative. You engaged in a prolonged physical confrontation without the assistance of others. During that confrontation, the suspect attempted to take control of your service weapon. Despite all of the adverse conditions, you managed to eventually gain control of the suspect and take him into custody, ending the issue without any further incident. Great job. I remember that day, Matt. I remember responding to the scene.
Yes, sir.
And checking you out in the ambulance.
Yes.
and you were no worse for wear, but you certainly held your own that day. Great job.
Thank you.
Great job, Matt. Thank you, sir.
Same thing? Still? Ah. Our next set of awards is Exceptional Duty Award, which signifies may be awarded to a credible or meritorious act in the line of duty which meets some but not all of the requirements for other medals. Usually in nature, showing initiative and accomplishment, bringing public acclaim to the nominee, the department, or the police profession. I'd like to call up Captain Michael Carter, please.
Good morning. I'd like to recognize that most of the awards given out so far have been given to patrol officers that are on scene. Most of the awards I'm giving out are for detectives that put in a lot of time away from their family, bring jobs home with them, use their knowledge to solve these crimes, and it's good to see them get recognition. The first award goes to Lieutenant Robert Duffy. He's not here today, he's sick. I'll read it though. This official citation is to commend you on your actions which you displayed on March 14, 2022. On this date, you were detailed to 17A Progress Street on an alarm call. Officers quickly identified that it was confirmed burglary and recognized it matched the MO of dozens of other commercial burglary investigations throughout the town and state. Patrol had received information from the Detective Bureau that a possible suspect had been developed for this rash of burglaries and may be residing in Talmadge Village. You notified Patrolman Spielman and instructed him to remain in that specific area and attempt to identify any possible suspicious vehicles heading in that direction. A vehicle was identified and the suspect was arrested, putting an end to a year-long crime spree that involved multiple counties and agencies. This was a combined effort of keen patrol instincts, investigative skills, and dedication to duty. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but the community that you serve. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed. Again, thank you for your actions and your continued efforts in the future. The next award is to Detective Richard Westover, Jr. Hi. On March 23, 2022, a burglary occurred at 14 New York Drive, Apartment 6A. You were assigned the follow-up investigation spanned the course of 9 months. You were relentless in your pursuit of identifying the suspects involved in this crime. Edison was hit with 5 additional burglaries by this crew. During the course of the investigation, you coordinated with 8 other New Jersey agencies. You monitored intel bulletins, recognized the MO, notified the involved agencies, and became the lead case agent for a statewide burglary ring investigation. In order to ultimately get approval for charges against those involved, you completed 18 separate CDWs. Multiple GEO searches, utilized a pole camera on the main target's residence, and conducted countless hours of traditional surveillance. You finally received approval to sign complaints for burglary, conspiracy, and other related crimes against 4 separate individuals. These charges were approved for all 6 residents that were victimized in our township. In all, through your tireless efforts, you identified approximately 13 total suspects that were in some way involved in this statewide burglary criminal organization. Thanks to you, most of these individuals were charged in one or multiple of the other 8 jurisdictions. This investigation is the definition of exceptional duty. The initiative and tenacity shown by you was unrivaled. Your coordination and selfless sharing of information with other agencies represents the very best of this department and is the epitome of cooperation amongst law enforcement. Congratulations. Detective Ankur Mankat. These jobs get longer and longer, and the writing gets smaller and smaller, so I might have to start putting these closer to my eyes. I might need.
Like 125 from Walgreens. You let them?
No, I'm good. On July 22nd, 2022, you were notified by patrol that DCP&P were looking to report 5-year-old twins, sisters, missing and endangered. The reporting person indicated she was having a hard time getting help in this case. Not only did she believe the children were missing, she feared one may actually be deceased. It was determined that the biological mother had been telling DCP&P that her one daughter was staying with an aunt in North Carolina, and they had received text messages from her saying this child was okay. Through investigation and subpoenas with the phone company, this was proven to be false, and the messages were actually determined to be coming from the biological mother and traced back to her address in Edison. You further discovered that the mother stopped filing for state benefits for one of her twin daughters in 2021. On July 27, 2022, with the help of Sergeant Teleposky and the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, they were able to locate the biological mother and the suspect, Matthew Childs, at a hotel in Woodbridge. Upon conducting an interview with the mother, it was determined that the child had been beaten. The child had beaten one of her daughters to death in 2019 at an apartment in Perth Amboy. He then disposed of her body at an unknown location. The mother further stated that Childs continued to abuse her other daughter from that time on. Fortunately, the second daughter was ultimately located safely in Paterson, New Jersey, and turned over to DCP&P. Both Childs and the biological mother were charged with endangering the welfare of a child. Subsequent investigation yielded charges of homicide against Childs out of Perth Amboy. Your compassion for hearing out the DCP&P worker and believing in her story is worthy of an Exceptional Duty Award. You took the initiative to help where others had failed. The child was not seen for 3 years, and without your keen investigative nature and a caring DCP&P worker, this heinous crime may have gone unsolved. Thanks to your dedication and professionalism, the man responsible is now behind bars for this atrocious act, and the victim's sister is safe from further abuse. Congratulations. Detective Joseph Bench. On November 17, 2022, you were notified of a possible attempted murder that occurred at 111 Truman Drive. The victim, who has had a report, who was at Robert Wood Johnson Hospital in New Brunswick, had multiple severe injuries. The victim advised she only knew that suspect as Walter James, and the assault occurred because she refused to have sex with him after he offered her money. She explained that he threw her to the ground, strangled her, then grabbed a knife and began to stab her. He then made her scrub her fingernails, clean and peel off the tips before he bound her, gagged her, and locked her in a closet. She advised he took personal documents of hers before fleeing the scene, stating, "Now I know who you are." While working with property management, detectives were able to locate quality video of the suspect inside the building wearing a very distinctive sweatshirt. A tracks bulletin was generated utilizing those images. The following day, as the victim became more responsive, she further advised detectives that Walter James may live on Easton Avenue in New Brunswick. Upon gathering this information, you and assisting detectives met with the New Brunswick Street Gangs unit and shared the photo of the suspect. Detectives then began canvassing areas where the suspect was known to frequent. Soon after, detectives from New Brunswick Police Department notified Edison detectives that the found a suspect matching the description provided, and more importantly, wearing the same distinctive sweatshirt that was used during the commission of the crime. The individual was arrested and positively identified as, I'm not going to say his name. I'm not sure if it's done yet. You then applied for a telephonic search warrant of the arrestee's apartment. Upon approval, a subsequent search of the premises resulted in the discovery of the victim's birth certificate, New Jersey driver's license, social security card, and health ID card, along with a large quantity of narcotics and paraphernalia. Upon completion of the investigation, arrestee was charged with attempted murder, attempted aggravated assault, kidnapping, and multiple CDS-related offenses. Your savvy utilization of resources, textbook investigative techniques, and ability to coordinate multiple agencies and detectives was crucial to this case being solved. By quickly and thoroughly examining all of the facts provided, you were able to get a violent criminal off the street in under 24 hours, thereby keeping other members of the community safe from harm. This is a perfect example of exceptional duty. Congratulations. Detective James Whalen. On December 5th, 2022, there was a burglary at 17 Roger Road. On December 6th, 2022, you and Detective LaKelt were conducting a follow-up investigation and canvassing in the area of Roger Road. Approximately 2 houses away, you observed a parked silver BMW X5 with no front license plate and a piece of paper obstructing the VIN in the windshield. You immediately recognized this vehicle as possibly matching a suspect vehicle from 2 other Edison residential burglaries. Upon further investigation, it was determined the vehicle had fictitious license plates. While looking in the windows, you observed a backpack, pillowcase, and packaging for a large flat head screwdriver in plain view. These items are all commonly associated with residential burglaries. The vehicle was subsequently impounded pending a search warrant. While waiting for the tow truck, you and Detective LaKelt then observed a gold Nissan Rogue bearing Illinois registration drive past the suspected BMW. 20 minutes later, the same vehicle passed by a second time. Through other investigations, you were aware that Illinois' DMV had suspended over 200 registrations as being fictitious and connected to the notorious South American theft group. Based on this information, a motor vehicle stop was conducted and an individual was found hiding behind the driver and laying on the rear seat. The suspect was found to be in possession of the BMW key for the suspect vehicle that was being impounded. It was determined that they were in the area to retrieve the vehicle they had left behind on the previous evening. The suspect and the female driver were subsequently placed under arrest for conspiracy, theft, and burglary charges. On December 12, 2022, a search warrant was executed on the BMW X5 and the Nissan Rogue. This resulted in the finding of property from numerous other burglary investigations, including class rings, watches, several screwdrivers, and $7,000 in cash. With this information, you and Detective LaKelt were able to close out multiple investigations in the Edison area and assist several other agencies in New York and New Jersey close out burglaries in their jurisdictions. These burglaries were only solved thanks to your initiative and keen investigative skills. Your immediate follow-up, combined with old-fashioned police work, led to the immediate identification of a suspect vehicle. By monitoring national and local burglary intelligence bulletin, you were able to identify a second suspect vehicle, and make subsequent arrests. These arrests led to multiple charges in various jurisdictions. Your dedication and service and attention to detail is a prime example of exceptional duty, and it deserves to be recognized. Congratulations. Detective Christian Payon. Should I tell them what else you're exceptional at? On March 15, 2024, at approximately 17:30 hours, you responded to an attempted carjacking that took place at Patel Brothers, 1681 Oak Tree Road. In the early stages, the only valid information received was the suspects appeared to be younger males with a clothing description headed eastbound on Oak Tree Road. After completing a formal interview with the victim, you began the tedious process of canvassing the area to visit and speak with every business owner along the Oak Tree Road corridor. The very next morning, after only a few hours of rest, you continued your investigation with possible links to the city of Rahway. The entire day concentrated on knocking on doors, speaking with residents, while attempting to continue to track the suspects. The day ended with another round of canvassing and speaking with all Oak Tree Road businesses owners to establish an accurate timeline of events. Throughout the next several days, you had already sent out a large number of court-ordered subpoenas to various cell phone providers during this time. You also made contact with several outside agencies, including New Jersey Transit Police Department, Linden Police Department, Rahway Police Department, and New Jersey State Police. Numerous still photos and videos of the suspect were sent for visual enhancement and sent to all in New Jersey law enforcement agencies. As the investigation continued, you were able to track the suspect's path of travel through surveillance video and determine they had fled the area via a New Jersey Transit train. After further canvassing, it was later learned that the suspects exited the New Jersey Transit train at the Rahway train station. The investigation revealed that the unknown suspects were juveniles that all attended a local education center. You had consulted with the school officials to identify 2 out of the 3 suspects. The 2 identified suspects were taken into custody the same day, along with executing search warrants and retrieving evidence in the case. You were eventually able to develop the 3rd suspect, who was later confirmed to be the last defendant, resulting in their arrest. You went above and beyond to solve the carjacking investigation within a week. You showed true determination while displaying your investigative skills as the lead investigator in the case to bring justice for the victim. 3 violent criminals with no regard for public safety were taken off the street. The Edison Police Department commends you for your hard work, exceptional duty, and appreciates your continued success as a criminal investigator representing the department and the Township of Edison.
Thank you, Mike. It's the same thing. Same, right? As we continue, and again, I want to thank you all for your patience and for your attendance here today to honor our men and women that are true heroes, as you could tell from descriptions of what they're being awarded for. Captain William Revel. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to say a couple things, and I'm going to keep it brief. I know you guys have been here a while, and I appreciate that. First and foremost, it's in my honor and privilege to be up here today to honor the good work that's being done by all of our police officers here. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the other 144 officers approximately that aren't here today that supported all these efforts. So if we could just give them a little bit of a round of applause. I am positive, and I know that all the people here that are getting awards today would echo this sentiment, that any one of those other 144 officers put into a similar situation would perform with the same bravery and courage and dedication that these officers did today, that are being honored today. So I want to thank them and all of the officers that received awards prior to this. I want to thank Chief Bryan and the mayor for putting these awards together. It's very important. I would be remiss also if I didn't talk about the families that are here to support these officers. You know, one of the things that happens in an officer's daily life, it starts with and comes back to the family at the end of the day, and every one of you should be proud of what you do for these officers and your commitment to them who are committed to the residents of Edison. So please give yourself a round of applause. The third thing that I want to talk about, I want to tip my hat to the retired officers in the room, especially the Edison officers that came before all of us. We wouldn't be here, I know I wouldn't be here, and this command staff and the chief, without them blazing the path forward for us, and their commitment and to the residents of Edison and the police department is a great accomplishment, and I thank them for that also. Thank you. Last but not least, all the township officials that came here today, the politicians, the mayor, Senator Dagnan, Assemblyman Karabinchak, and Commissioner Tamaro, who's still here, has been a stalwart in Edison and represented the citizens here with honor and distinction for his entire career. And as you can see, he's still here. I applaud you, sir, for that. Without further ado, I would like to call Officer Kalia Douglas to the podium. Officer Douglas is receiving an official citation for Exceptional Duty Award. This official citation is to commend you on your actions, which you have displayed on October 23rd, 2023. While on duty, you were dispatched to 2671 Wildberry Court on a report of a residential burglary that occurred 20 minutes in the past. A witness provided a description of a male suspect wearing a black hoodie, black pants, and winter gloves entered her residence and stole multiple items. You were on patrol in the area of New Brunswick Avenue and Kilmer Road North when you observed two males sitting at the entrance of the housing complex. As you approached, the two males observed your vehicle and immediately froze. You made contact with the males and detained them until additional officers arrived on scene. The victim was able to identify the males on scene as the offenders who committed the burglary. Your investigation and evidence gathered led to the arrest of the males for the offense of burglary. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition, not only by the Edison Police Department, but the community that you serve. And I thank you very much for your service. Okay, the next official citation, I would like to call up Officer Antonio Capola and Officer Jonathan Ditmars. I am going to go a little bit off script here. Is Sal Capola in the audience?
Here he is.
Sal, would you mind honor us with your presence up here? I want to say a few words about you, if you don't mind. So one of the things that I'm going to bring, I promise I'm going to bring this full circle. Sal, with great, he was a business owner in the township of Edison at Zia Lisa Pizza for how many decades, Sal?
43 years.
43 years. And his son is now a police officer with the Edison Police Department who serves with great distinction and honor also. But Sal has been a generous benefactor to the Edison Police Department as well as the residents of Edison for that many years. And when you hear this citation, I'm going to bring it full circle, and I'd like Sal to stay up here and listen to this. The other officer that I have up here with me is Jonathan Ditmars, who I've had the pleasure of working with personally also, who is an excellent officer, and you're going to hear about their job. This official citation is to commend Officer Capola and Officer Ditmars on their actions which were displayed on August 8th of 2023. On the above listed date, you were detailed to an alarm activation at 1906 Route 27, Bell Pharmacy. Upon your arrival, You observed a BMW sedan parked in front of the pharmacy with its lights off and the front glass door shattered. As the suspect vehicle fled the scene, you observed 2 males exit the pharmacy through the broken glass door and flee on foot. You initiated a foot pursuit and were able to locate and arrest one of the fleeing suspect. The arrestee was subsequently charged with burglary and resisting arrest. Both of your displays of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition, not only by the Edison Police Department, but the community that you serve. Thank you, guys. Hold on one second now. I'm going to bring this full circle. Sal, his Zia Lisa Pizza restaurant was probably a half a mile from where his son, who grew up watching his father as a business owner in Edison, his son was on patrol and stopped and caught someone who was burglarizing another business. If that doesn't deserve some applause for someone that watched their father as a business owner, I don't know what does, and you must be very proud of your son, Sal. Come on over. Thank you, guys. And I want to wish Sal best of luck in his retirement. I'm going to be sad that I'm not getting the Sal salad anymore, which was delicious. We got it many times. The next officer I would like to call up is Officer Philip Smith. This is the third, I think, award for Officer Smith today. This is an Exceptional Duty Award. On October 15th, 2023, you were on routine patrol when Perth Amboy Police Department advised communications that they had been involved in a pursuit with a stolen motor vehicle. They further advised that they lost the vehicle in the area of I-287 and Route 440. Upon receiving this information, you began checking the area for the vehicle. Upon entering the Speedway gas station lot, you observed a vehicle which fit the description at the gas pumps. You confirmed the vehicle's registration and attempted to make contact with the driver. When the driver noticed you, he reversed his vehicle and fled at a high rate of speed. You immediately initiated a pursuit which lasted for several miles over various roadways. Ultimately, the vehicle crashed on the New Jersey Turnpike and the driver fled on foot. You then engaged in a foot pursuit across all lanes of the turnpike and down an embankment into a wooded area off Wooler Dunham Drive. You finally located him hiding in the brush near the railroad tracks. He attempted to run again, but you tackled him after a struggle, and with the assistance of Officer Bradley, the individual was taken into custody. Your fast response, perseverance, and bravery resulted in apprehension of a person who posed a great danger to the public with minimal injury and damage. Your dedication to duty brings great credit to yourself, the Edison Police Department, and the Township of Edison. Now, I'm going to add my own editorial here. Officer Smith probably is one of our most frequent pursuers of stolen vehicles or people that are wanted for murder or you name it, he's in the right spot at the right time. And I can honestly say I've watched the video for this one. This body-worn camera and this MVR video was scary. He crossed 4 lanes of the turnpike when he was climbing over the Jersey barrier. A tractor trailer that was in that left lane missed him by about 6 inches, I think. And he still was brave enough to go across the street, chase this gentleman into the woods, and then do a search by himself. And then Officer Bradley, I think it was, assisted you with apprehending the suspect, which was also a great job. And I'm going to tell you this, one of the hardest things to do during a police pursuit is to remain composed on the air when your adrenaline is flowing. I've never seen anybody do it better than Phil, and any younger officers that ever want to have tips from him, you should ask him before he retires, because he's one of the best I've ever seen at doing it. And I congratulate him today. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, it was. Okay, now I'm going to ask Officer Stephen Fingal to please come forward. Steve, is Captain Frederick still here? He left. It turns out that Steve and I have a connection that I didn't realize until today, but his cousin and godbrother, Captain Lloyd Fredericks from the Franklin Township Police Department, who was a hometown hero there, was here earlier today. Captain Fredericks and I went to the police academy together in 1999 in Essex County. So you're learning from a good guy. He does a great job, and so do you. All right, this is an official citation, Exceptional Duty Award, Edison Police Department, Officer Stephen Fingal Jr. On October 17, 2023, you were on routine patrol at Menlo Park Mall when HQ Communications broadcast a flock hit on a stolen vehicle that had entered mall property. Upon receiving this information, you began checking the area for the vehicle. Soon after, you observed the vehicle drive past in the opposite direction. As you activated your overhead lights and turned around, the vehicle fled at a high rate of speed. You initiated a pursuit which proceeded through Metuchen, then back into Edison. Ultimately, the vehicle crashed on Park Avenue and the 3 occupants fled on foot in different directions. This is when Officer Fingal kicked into action and engaged in a foot pursuit, focusing on the driver of the vehicle and apprehended him almost immediately. Turning the arrestee over to Detective Innocent, you began canvassing the area for the 2 remaining suspects. Joining up with Detective Michikowski, and Matt is going to get recognized in another job here, you began checking backyards and soon located a black jacket and ski mask. A resident then directed you to a specific backyard where they observed a potential suspect hiding under the deck. Upon your arrival, you located the individual, positively identified him, and took him into custody. Your observation skills and perseverance resulted in the apprehension of all 3 suspects, thus presenting further criminal activity with minimal injury and damage. Your dedication to duty gives great credit to yourself, the Edison Police Department, and the Township of Edison's. Congratulations.
I have a question for all the ladies in here. Show of hands if you were reading the Harlequin romance novels. Anybody? Oh, nice. Dan Boslett? Oh, okay. Yeah. Chief Gerba? So if you're reading the Harlequin romance novels, what you probably don't know is that Officer Fingal is the model on the cover. Stephen! You braggadocious, you hunk of a man, you. Yes. And also, I don't know how many have you seen him on Family Feud? Yeah, let's give him a hand. Family Feud. Yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, the life-saving. Okay.
But you're staying.
Yeah. The next category is life-saving, and it is may be awarded for an act performed in the line of duty which, through disregard of personal safety or by prompt alert action, results in saving of a life. Captain Revelle.
Okay, I would like to call up 2 officers, Officer Michael Montenegro and Officer Adrian Chammy, please. This official citation is a life-saving award, for Officer Michael Montenegro and Officer Adrian Chammy. On December 4th, 2022, at 2:31 hours in the morning, Edison Police and Edison Fire responded to a motor vehicle crash at US Highway 1 North at Grandview Avenue. It was reported that there was a 3-car accident with an unresponsive passenger and 2 vehicles that were on fire. Officers arrived on scene to the 3-vehicle crash involving a total of 6 individuals. Officer Montenegro and Officer Shami arrived on scene first and took notice of an unresponsive female in the backside of vehicle number 1, which was fully engulfed in flames due to significant impact of the accident. Jasmine Williams was located in the rear of vehicle 1 and trapped behind the front passenger seat. At this time, Officer Shami breached the rear passenger window by utilizing his expandable baton. Once the window was smashed open, Officer Shami, Officer Montenegro, Officer Van Wart entered the rear of the burning vehicle. You freed Miss Williams from the back seat of the vehicle where she was trapped and carried her approximately 25 yards off the roadway. You then immediately began taking life-saving measures by performing CPR until Miss Williams regained consciousness and began breathing. Miss Williams sustained a visible laceration to the top of the skull as well. EMS arrived on scene, and due to the critical injuries sustained by Miss Williams, she was transported immediately to Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Both of your displays of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but the community that you serve. Your commitment, resolve, especially bravery, do not go unnoticed. Thank you again for your actions on December 4th, 2022. You guys truly saved a life. Thank you. I believe I'm done now. I just want to point out the fact that there's civilians that were involved with this ceremony today. Gloria Scalero, Jasmine Robinson, Sue Davids, did I miss it? Amanda Massara with the beautiful rendition of our national anthem. You guys did a great job, and we wouldn't be able to do this without all of you. So thank you very much, and I thank you.
I'd like to call up again Captain Jason Gerba, our Awards Committee Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I am back. I knew I was coming up a second time. I just wanted to give a special thank you. The Chief was cueing me earlier, but I have an OCD and have to do things in a certain order in my own mind. But I would be remiss if I didn't individually thank our Awards Committee. They did such a fantastic job. I have the versatility of Captain Michkowski and Lieutenant Powers, who were both detectives and patrol officers. So their knowledge is unbelievable. Lieutenant Sorber and DiCarlo, I've known them for years. We've spent many years on squads together, and they're 2 guys who really wanted to be part of this process and making sure officers are rewarded properly. Lieutenant Kenny, I have known forever. Our fathers were friends, and we grew up together, and it was great having him on the committee. Sergeant Mikowski, he's not here right now, but him and my brother graduated together, deep roots in Edison. And Officer Pipperato, with logistics and everything else, we needed a projector today, and bam, right on the spot. So thank you again to my committee for doing such a great job this time out. Continuing with the life-saving, we have Officer Julia Bossert and Officer Hashmi. Guess we don't have Hash today. Oh, this is the, okay, I'm sorry, out of order.
Well, this is Buzzer and Hashmi, and then Buzzer and Moss, so she stays up. She stays up.
Okay, all right.
There is no escape.
All right. So you want me to, I'll do the one with Moss first. This was such a great job. This took place on April 15th, 2024, at the Morris Goodkind Bridge. There was multiple reports of a person jumping off a bridge in New Brunswick. So New Brunswick goes to the area, and upon arrival, They advised that they believed the body was moving in the river towards the Raritan Boat Club. Officers observed the body of the male floating in the water and saw the chest rising and falling, indicating that the male was still alive after a jump from the Route 1 bridge. So these officers, Justin Moss and Julia Bossert, jumped into the cold water. They, of course, took their equipment off and everything else. So there was no body cam for this one. I wish there was, because that would have been amazing. But they went into the waters of the Raritan, and they went in and made a rescue to a male who was conscious, alert, and amazingly still breathing. What a job. And it was funny that night because I was the captain of patrol, and I got to text them, and I still remember the picture of them in their hospital gowns at that night. And I was thinking about maybe they would want to decontaminate a little with the smells of the Raritan River afterwards. But what a fantastic job. Let's give them a round of applause.
I got it.
I love it that I get to do 2 awards with Jules because she is one of my proficient torch runners, a charity near and dear to my heart. So on this second job, second life-saving award, there was a call at 279 US Highway 1, the Fuel 1, of an off-duty officer with a self-inflicted accidental gunshot wound. One thing about Jules, when there is a pressure situation like this, and I saw it from the video, Jules is the voice of calm, and that's what you need in a situation like that when somebody just has a gunshot wound. So Jules came up, talked calmly. The individual was in and out of consciousness. She was able to apply a tourniquet, and subsequently, like seeing in the video, there was a great loss of blood. So she absolutely, I believe, saved this individual's life. And Hashmi came on scene and applied a second tourniquet. So it was really a fantastic job by the both of them. Round of applause.
Our women rock. Look at them. Our women rock.
Thank you.
Our men do too. Stephen.
So James Duffy is not here. I'll just quickly say, James Duffy, it was another job on the Morris-Kutkind Bridge, and you watch the video and you see a body actually more than half over. I think with my body weight, man, I would not want to get called to this situation. But James Duffy spoke calmly and was able to get the individual over the barrier. It was an amazing job, so give him a round of applause. Oh, yeah. The chief is mentioning, I should have mentioned that. He is with the military right now serving our country, Afghanistan and Iraq. So he's out there doing great things for us right now. Give him another round of applause. This next one, talk about coming full circle. Joseph Elkamos, Life-Saving Award. So Elkamos gets his life saved in an accident. What better way to repay the favor by paying it forward and save somebody else's life? So on May 15, 2023, he's called to 83 Sagamore Avenue. And again, watching the video on this house is engulfed. There happened to be a Woodbridge councilman on scene who directed Officer Elkamos upon his arrival, hey, there's somebody in the house right now. Alkamos, you see the body cam, he's making his way over. There's smoke, there's flames. He's where? Like you can't see anything. The guy somewhat directed him. Alkamos went right in, and this was the best, like, I don't know how strong this guy is. He picked this guy up like a feather and just put him over his shoulder and brought him out to safety. It was really a fantastic job and worthy of praise. Great job, Joseph Alkamos. Joe's now going to carry me off stage. One more. Officer Brian Caterino Mayo, or as I call him, the Mayo Kid, my nickname for him. You can't underestimate the receiving a life-saving award, because these individuals would not be alive without the actions of our officers. So this one took place on July 5th, 2023. He was dispatched to the center, the intersection of Raritan Center Parkway and Woodbridge Avenue, for a report of a motor vehicle crash with injuries. He determined one of the drivers was unresponsive and without a pulse. So he immediately removed the driver from the vehicle and began CPR. And subsequent to his actions, the individual survived. So had he not been there at the right place at the right time, the outcome probably would have been different. Officer Brian Caterino Mayo, great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Gerba. Before we continue with the Medal of Valor, I would just like to say about Officer Alkamos. You know, people are talking about President Trump, you know, one of the toughest guys because he took that shot to the ear and he was so resilient. But I'm going to tell you, this officer right here is the toughest guy that I have ever known and ever met. And the funny thing was he was involved in an assault, had to discharge his weapon, that horrific accident that I don't see how anybody could survive and then be hardly injured at all. But I went to the hospital to see him, and he's like, you know, Chief, I a little bad luck lately. You know, these things are happening to me. Like, you know, I said, well, you know, young Joe, there's another way to look at it. You got to say you've got a guardian angel on your shoulder, and it's good luck because he was saved, right, by our other gentleman out here. Thank you so very much. For him to continue to save other people's lives. I mean, how full circle is that? Let's give him one big round of applause again, please. The Medal of Valor may be awarded for an act of outstanding personal bravery, intelligently performed in the line of duty under adverse conditions with some degree of hazard to the life of the nominee, or where death or serious injury to another individual is prevented. It is my honor to call up Captain Brian Morath.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. It's an absolute honor and a privilege to be here for this discussion I'm about to have about the Medal of Valor. These are rarely given. And is Officer Danny Bradley here today? Okay, thank you. This will be regarding Patrolman Joe Alkamos. So if you could please come up here for a third time. So just real quick, brief before I start to read about this incident. This is your third trip up here. It's just amazing that your first trip up here was regarding someone saving your life. The second trip to save someone else's, and in this one in particular, to save your own. So this is an incredible situation that he was forced into, and the situation that every officer in here hopes never occurs. But You should be commended for it. And again, this is an honor and privilege for me to read this off. So let's go ahead and put this into context the best we can. This official citation is to commend you on your actions which you displayed on April 12th, 2022. On this date, you responded to 44 Judson Street, apartment 10 Bravo, on a call of a male holding an axe and arguing with neighbors. Upon arrival, other officers attempted to make contact with the subject and de-escalate the situation. Unfortunately, the subject did not want to engage in a dialogue and quickly became aggressive. You and many other officers on scene took a tactical position a distance away from the front door in order to remain safe. Despite your efforts, the subject charged through the door, wielding an axe in his hand. You then attempted to retreat and yell verbal commands to the subject in an effort to have him drop his weapon. With the subject quickly closing a distance on you and no other alternative, you were forced to draw and fire your weapon in order to neutralize the subject. Your actions were nothing short of heroic on this day. You exhausted all means to resolve a dangerous situation until you ran out of options. Your display of professionalism and dedication to duty are deserving of recognition not only by the Edison Police Department, but the community you serve. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed. Again, thank you for your actions and your continued efforts in the future. Will the following officers please come forward? Officers David Fegler, Zachary Delabic, Scott Benedictson, and Matthew Spillman. Unfortunately for many of us, we get called to assist others who are suffering from mental illness, attempt suicide. We get a lot of calls that are often individuals who resort to going to the Morris Goodkind Bridge on Route 1. Many of you know where that is. A lot of circumstances don't end in a great outcome. Very few do end in a good outcome, and this is certainly one of them. We've all been there. Many officers have had a similar situation on that bridge. This one in particular, I've never heard of a situation where you're grappling with another human being who is positioned on the outside of the railing. So anybody who's not familiar with that bridge, looking over it, top dead center is probably about 130 feet above water. So to be in that circumstance is definitely one that you're not looking forward to on the average day. But we're going to go ahead and dive into this and get some details out there so you understand the circumstance that these officers were in at that moment in time. This official citation is to commend you and your actions, which you displayed on December 5th, 2022. On this date, you responded to the Morris Goodkind Bridge on a report of a suicidal male standing on the outer railing, holding a knife. Upon arrival, officers were able to persuade the male to throw the knife off the bridge, all while continuously speaking to him as they slowly but deliberately closed the distance between them. Once the officers were close enough to the male, they quickly grabbed him and pulled him back over the railing to safety, where he was detained and later transported to the hospital. During the incident, you displayed incredible professionalism and dedication to duty. You are deserving of recognition, and not only by the Edison Police Department, but the community that you serve. Your commitment and resolve did not go unnoticed. Again, thank you for your actions on December 5th, 2022, and your continued effort in the future.
Gloria, can we have a time check? What's the time check? Time check.
12:27.
12:20, not too bad. We're almost finished, but what I like to say is, number one, I made a statement at a council meeting not too long ago that our detective bureau, they close out and solve like 75% of the crimes that occur collectively. And the national average is like 12.9, 13%. So our detective bureau does a great job. And a couple people in the media, they looked at the UCR reports, which are not accurate. You can't compare the both, and they challenged me on that. So for those naysayers, I will be at the meeting tonight, and I won't have a problem explaining to them that now it's actually 83% that we closed out, or 84%. So, sure. Under the leadership of Captain Hammer, our detective bureau just rocks. They do a great job. But I'll tell you what, you heard a lot today about the front line, okay? Our men and women that are out there every day, 24 hours a day, putting their lives on the line. And they get involved in, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, that's why I say it's the greatest job you could ever have, because you're a doctor, a lawyer, you're a warrior, you're a psychologist. It's just you wear so many hats. But listen, I can boldly say that I feel we have the best police department in the country, in the entire country. We are very diverse. We have a lot of different ethnicities. We have different religions. We have a lot of officers that speak multiple languages. But I got to tell you, we don't see that. We see one. We see blue. And when the chips are down, we're there for each other. We back each other up. That's what it's all about. Like I said, our entire department rocks. Our women rock. They are fantastic. Each and every one of our men do a fantastic job day in and day out. I'm very proud of my command staff, who does a fantastic job. The civilian support staff, Gloria, my assistant, does a fantastic job. Amanda, Sue, everybody upstairs, my support staff with Nick and Pete and everybody. People don't realize that behind the scenes there's a lot of things that occur. And without these gentlemen and these women, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. So it's a collective effort between everybody. So before I call Deputy Chief Dudash up to recite the policeman's prayer, I once again want to echo what Captain Revelle said, and I want to thank each and every one of the officers here, but importantly, their families, because it's not an easy job. And their families, their wives, their spouses, their girlfriends, boyfriends, their children, everybody. So give yourselves a hand once again. Thank you very much. And I want to once again thank Mayor Joshi, who hands down, I've worked with a lot of mayors throughout my entire career. And they've all been very, very good. But I'll tell you, hands down, Mayor Joshi has accomplished more in the short time that he's been here than probably many others put together. I'm probably going to get a couple calls or text messages on that right now, but the facts are the facts. So I want to thank Mayor Joshi and his staff too, because we work day in and day out with Pat Coyle and Kat and Mary McAvoy and everybody, and they're fantastic. Everybody does a fantastic job, and that's what it's all about. When you ask yourself, what's life about? I feel Tom Bryan is going to tell you it's about helping each other be the best that you could be. And, going out there, and sometimes that takes sacrifice, but doing the best thing that you can do for everybody, serving the citizens of Edison Township, and also the individuals that come in and out of our township, every day and every night. So again, I want to thank you very much and call up Deputy Chief Dudash.
Thank you, Chief. If I could ask everyone to please stand and bow your heads. Police officer's prayer. O gentle Lord, keep the day watch with me as I begin my tour of duty. I ask your protection from all mental, physical, and spiritual harm. Sustain me with the knowledge that I am doing your work, endeavoring to keep the peace among your people. Help me to be just as I enforce the law without prejudice or favor to anyone. May I be courageous but not reckless in carrying out my duties. Let me respond to all calls with haste, realizing that so many are dependent on me for life and safety. Support me with your consoling power when I am tempted to think no one really cares and that I am taken for granted. Sustain in me the conviction that so many thousands do care and are grateful for my presence. Grant that I may be loyal to my partner and my fellow officers, and I may back them up effectively when called upon for assistance. Lord, I ask that I may return safely after my tour of duty to my loved ones and those who love me. I pray that I may be a good and honorable police officer. And after my tour of duty is over here on earth, may I enjoy the peace and happiness of heaven that you have promised to those who serve you well. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. I would also like to put a shout out to our BA, Sonia Alves, and Chief of Staff, Bob Deal, who do a fantastic job. We work with them day in and day out. So definitely a shout out to them, and we're very appreciative of what they do. And again, this will conclude our award ceremony. Thank you to all the officers. Thank you to all the family and friends. May peace be with you.